Hello everyone and welcome back to the lecture series C++ for beginners. Today we will be starting off with the first module, which is getting started with C++. So here we have the VS Code window, and you can see here, since we have already used the VS Code, you can see in the recent part here, this part here, you can see the previous folder that you had opened. In my case, it was C++ for beginners. In your case, it might be something else. So, the folder that we worked with in the previous lecture when we wrote our very first program. So it's here. So you do not have to go to file and open folder and anything. So you can just go here. Okay. And today I will be using the first program itself to explain certain things, and then we'll move forward. Okay. So we'll start off with the basic structure of a C++ program. So every C++ program has a standard structure. There will be this part, hash include IO stream. So this is known as the preprocessor directive. Then we have using namespace std. This is the namespace part. Then we have the int main part, which is the main function. And here is our main code that we are using in the program. And return 0 is the exit status. Okay. Now let's break down all of these parts. So hash include IO stream. So this basically tells the compiler to include the input output stream library. So we can use cout and cin. Cout is this part, like the output, the statement that helps you display the output. And cin is like, similarly, cin is basically the statement that lets you take in the input from the user. We'll come to that later. So yeah, this is how IOStream is required in the program. So what does IOStream mean? IO basically means input and output. And stream is like a flow of data, like water through a pipe, something like that. So together, IOStream is a library that lets you send data to the screen, that is output, and receive data from the keyboard, that is input. So without this line, hash include IOStream, the compiler would not recognize this command, cout. Like suppose I am not including this one, the compiler would not realize what this is. So let me comment this out. This is the comment symbol. I'll save it. I'll go to terminal, new terminal, and I will debug it. So you see, there's some error here since cout has not been recognized. Okay. And you are also introduced to command here. This is how we, comment. This is how we comment out lines. Like commented lines are essentially ignored by the compiler. So even though hash include IOStream is written somewhere in the program, the compiler is not compiling the part. Okay. So next we have using namespace. So in C++, the features are grouped inside namespaces like folders. So this line lets you use cout and cin directly. In case you did not write this line, you would have to write something like this. This would have been the command if you did not include using namespace std. Like the compiler would still recognize cout, like cout, but it would not give you the exact result since namespace std was not included. So here we are including std, and which is why you can just write cout and cin when you need to without including std and the double colon part. Okay. Okay, next we have int main. So this is the main function where every C++ program starts execution. Now, in this case, we only have one function, like we do not have any other additional functions. But in case you have any other additional functions, then also the execution would still start with the main function itself. So you can think of main function as the front door of your program. And then we have the statements inside the curly brackets. So these are the instructions that you provide to your machine, and each of these instructions should end with a semicolon. This is something we had touched upon in the previous lecture, right? And finally, we have return 0 semicolon. So this basically tells your operating system that the program ran successfully, like there was no issue with it. Okay, so this is the very basic structure of a program, of a very simple program. And then we have C out and C in for IO. So C++ provides us with C out and C in. So C out is basically short for console output. This is the command that helps you print things on screen. And C in is the console input. This reads the input from the user. So we have already used C out here. Let us try using C in. Okay. I'll write int say n semicolon. Then they are giving me the next line. They are predicting the next line. It's C n. Then we'll just print n. Okay. I'm not doing anything else. N. Yeah. Before this one, let me add another line. Which will, yeah, this one. They are giving me the thing. So basically, I am asking the user for a number which is being stored in n, and then I'm printing out the number. Okay, so here also I can add this part. Key the number is. Okay, let me save this and I will debug this and I will run this next. Oh, sorry, it was my program, right? My. So here you see they are asking me to enter a number. I would enter any number, say 6. The number is 6. Okay, I should have provided a space here because you see the output is like the number, the space, number, space is, but between is and 6 there is no space, which looks a bit weird, isn't it? So I also come to this later that white spaces are actually important in your program, even though they are not necessary in it. Like the compiler wouldn't give you any error if you forget to have a white space or something, but it would not look as good as it should. Okay. So yeah, let me run it again, like compile and run it again. Enter a number 6. The number is 6. Now you can see that here we have the number is and 6 have a space in between. Yeah, so we got familiar with input and output, like how to use C in and C out. Next, we will see comments and white spaces. So basically, I did show you how to use comments previously here when I was like commenting out IOStream part. So comments are basically written with starting with 2 backslashes, and you can write anything you want as per your convenience, or anything you would want some other person who would go through your code in future, you would want the other person to know. In this case, we are already having a predictive text here, so I'll just give it a go. Yeah, so beside this line, like I'm explaining why I'm using cout here. So basically, this is a prompt for the user to give us the input, give the computer the input. So yeah. So this is how comments are used, and you can write a comment anywhere, like anywhere you want, anything you need a command for. You think like this is a very simple program, you do not need to remember anything, but in case you do, like feel free anywhere. So yeah, here also I'm including a command here, output the number entered by the user. So yeah, and then we have white spaces, like spaces, tabs, new lines. These don't affect execution at all. Sorry, they are used for readability. Like you see, I could have simply written it this way. This would also not give me an error, and you can understand this because there is no red line showing here, or this main.cpp is not written in red because this is not an error. And you had also seen in the previous example that is and 6 did not have a space in between, and it looked weird. Like it was not a mistake per se, but it looked a bit weird. So yeah, this is how we are supposed to use white spaces. Also, you know what? Like, this still looks very convenient, right? This is still very readable. Let me just cancel out the comments here. I could have easily written a code like this, you know. I could have been gone here and then I could have. So, yeah, what I mean to say is that I could have written all of these in the same line. Like the braces would start here and end somewhere here in the single line. But it would be very inconvenient for you to read it out. Like when there's a tab and there are spaces and like every statement is beginning in a new line, it makes the whole code a bit more readable, right? Like you can understand that here you are declaring a variable. Okay, this is a very new concept which we will not be discussing here. So int is something, int stands for integer. You can think of it as integer. So this line is basically telling the compiler that n, the variable n, which will be storing a number, and the number is going to be integer. So this is what this line is used for. So in the next line, we are asking the user to enter a number. In the next line, we are assigning the number entered by the user to the variable n that we just declared here. The variable that is an integer variable n. And in the next line, we are printing the same number. And here we are declaring that the run was successful. So yeah, this is how we can understand that what each statement is doing. But if we were to write the same thing in the single line, uh, it would be very difficult for anyone, even for you. Even if you were to look at the program after a few days, you would be like, what have I written? Like, it's that confusing, right? Which is why white spaces are important, and so are comments. Like, in case you have like forgotten something, like why did you use a variable or maybe a function, but you have a comment written at the side of it or beginning of the entire function that tells you that this is why you had used the code. So yeah, that is how it is helpful. All right. So next we will have interactive user greeting. Let me change the program a bit. String, say name. Okay. This will be enter your name. Then we will have C in name, and we will have something like this. Say hello name. Okay. So this is what we want to print, and you can see here that when you want to print something in the same line, like print a number of things in the same line, here we are printing hello, then we are printing name, and then we are going to print welcome to C++ programming in the same line. We can use the same symbol here, like cout less than hello, less than name, less than welcome to C++ programming. So this was print three of the items in the same line itself. So this is basically an interactive user greeting, like the this is something, suppose you are developing a game or some short puzzle or something using programming. So this can be a fun way to greet the user who is going to run your program, right? So yeah, this is how interactive user greeting works. So let me just run and check it out. It's compiled, and now enter your name. I will enter my name here. And once you enter your name, you are supposed to click on enter. Like when you once you are done providing the input to your user, you are supposed to click on enter. So I clicked on enter, and then they are giving me hello, my name, welcome to C++. Again, it would be better if I have a space around here, because you see, between my name and welcome there is no space and it's looking a bit weird. So let me save it again and compile and run it again. Again, I will be entering my name. Yeah, now you see, hello, Suprotita, welcome to C++ programming. So yeah, this was an interactive user greeting. So now we know that every program, every C++ program has a this structure, which is this precursor directive, which lets the compiler use cin and cout. Then we have using namespace std, which lets you use cout and cin without having to write a slightly longer command for it. Then we have the main function, where the entire execution of the program begins. Then we have the code written in between curly braces, which tells the compiler, like tells your computer what you have to do in the program. And then we have the return statement, which lets the compiler know that the program run has been successful. Okay, then we learned how to use cout and cin. Cout is something we had used previously. Cin is something we learned today. And you can see here, cin and cout actually use opposite symbol. Like cout uses less than symbol, and cin uses greater than symbol. So you have, like, you got to remember this. And yeah, we also briefly talked about string and int. String, I think I forgot to mention. Okay, int is something I told that int is letting the compiler know that int n, suppose n is a variable which is an integer. A variable is a value that a variable is a part of the program where you can assign any value to. So in the previous part, right, we wrote int n, and we asked the user to enter a number, and the number that we entered was saved in n, right? So int n is an integer variable that way. Similarly, string name is a string of letters. You can think of it as a string of letters or characters. Like you could also suppose if it was not name, or suppose anything, suppose a roll number. Sometimes in your college you would have roll numbers which would include letters as well. Or even when you said for competitive exams, you have roll numbers which necessarily include letters actually. So in that case also you can use string. So this is basically a string of characters like that. Okay. So this is what string and int means. We will come to these later as well when we move forward with the course. And then we learned why comments and white spaces are useful. Like they are used for readability and better understanding of your code. Like if someone else were to read it, or if you were to come back to it after a few weeks or something. And then we also saw how indentation and white spaces are required. Like we could easily have written it in the same line, like this part, this tab part here. Like I have pressed tabbed here to move it to the right side a bit, but I could have written in the same line. But that would also reduce readability a bit. Like in this case, you can understand that the code written here, the one within the curly braces, these are the commands that are being operated on by the compiler. And yeah, so this is what you should focus on basically. If like you had seen that I had first I used cin to take the number, and then I printed the number, then I like used cin to input my name, and then I printed my name. So here is where I'm making the changes. Here are the statements that are doing the job for you. So this is how you can differentiate key. Okay, inside the main function, I have my statements, which are ending in semicolon, by the way, syntax again. And this is how we're differentiating it from the rest of the part. So these are the just declarations. These are this is including cin and cout in your program. This is letting you use cin and cout without using std with it. And here you can make changes to make anything else. Like here you can do many things like combining two numbers, finding the maximum of two numbers, or anything you want. Okay. So yeah, this is how we are using indentation and white spaces. White spaces are used everywhere throughout the program to make it readable. I have also shown you how white spaces matter even in outputs. Like without white spaces, the output may not even be readable. Like suppose I had not put white spaces in this statement, welcome to C++ programming. It would look literally ridiculous, right? So yeah, white spaces are also important. And finally, we have written our first interactive program. So you can see how you can interact with your computer. Like you can basically ask your computer is basically like you are typing a code and your computer is asking you for a number or a name or anything, and that is being displayed at the output. So that is the interactive user greeting I was talking about. All right, so today was all about programming. Did we got introduced to programming and we learned about the basic structure and everything. And I think you are kind of familiar with C++ programming and the commands and how we write everything. And I would suggest you to go over the programming and play with these things like int string and like input many things and display whatever you want. So go over it. And you should also remember where to use semicolon, where to use greater than, where to use less than, where to use first bracket, where to use curly braces. And yes, and I hope you understood the program today and in the previous lecture where we had done our first programs. Like this, these are your very first programs, so there may be some confusions regarding something that you might not understand, and that's pretty much all right. Honestly, like this is a beginner course. It's pretty much expected that you would not know many things, or maybe not grasp many things if it has been explained only once. So yeah, so if you have any questions, any queries regarding anything, please write down to me in the comments below. And I would love to hear your suggestions about this course. Like, is there any other way you want me to teach you programming or anything else you want, like any change you want or anything you like about it? Like, I know we are only just like, it's been how many, like 3 lectures, yes. But still, if you want any changes or anything you like, please write it down. I would really, really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, so that is about it for today, I guess. All right, then. See you guys in the next video. Until then, good luck to you and bye bye.